Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a really fascinating piece of source text. We are unpacking the intensely emotional, honestly beautifully poetic layers of the lyrics from childlike media's The Bible in 5 minutes. It's highly repetitive, undeniably uplifting, and we're going to explore exactly how it builds such a compelling narrative of belonging and purpose. Let's get right into it.
Right off the bat, there is one line that acts as the relentless, beating heart of the entire piece. This is what you were made for. You hear it repeated almost rhythmically throughout the text. It doesn't ask a question. It makes a definitive, confident declaration about human purpose. And it's completely designed to reassure the listener from the very first beat.
All right, part one, stepping into the light, leaving the old ways behind.
The text initiates its journey with this gentle but firm invitation, brilliantly setting up an intentional duality. On one side, you have exactly what you're asked to leave behind, the old ways and fear. But on the flip side, you have the promise, the light, power, and freedom. It creates this immediate before and after dynamic, explicitly validating what the human soul is really craving.
Now let's do a close read of these specific lines. You're known and loved and wanted more than you know. The text is promising some profound emotional assurance here, speaking directly to that universal human desire for acceptance. But notice the crucial catch at the end. You can only feel it and believe it if you let go. So it's an active choice. You have to surrender those old ways to actually experience the promise.
Moving on to part two, the quest for purpose, the power of lyrical repetition.
You know, the very structure of this poem is the exact mechanism that reinforces its message. To put this into perspective, just look at how the phrase "made for" absolutely dominates the text. Concepts like joining the family are definitely vital, but the sheer volume of "made for" acts as a massive rhetorical anchor. By constantly pulling the listener back to this exact phrase, the lyrics bypass logical debate entirely. They instill an absolute, rhythmic certainty. It's a classic, brilliant technique to make an idea feel literally inevitable.
And this quest for purpose? Well, it requires action. The lyrics position the journey as a distinct exchange. It says, "So leave your fear behind, and let him make you brave." You abandon your fear, and in return, an external force grants you bravery. You don't actually have to summon all that courage entirely on your own. You just have to create the space for it by dropping the fear. It's a highly comforting mechanic that significantly lowers the barrier to entry.
Which brings us to part three. Assurance and salvation, the deliverance.
We get a very specific, chronological progression outlining the spiritual mechanics of this deliverance. In the past, the text states, God pulled us from the grave. In the present, now we're all saints. And looking to the future, it promises communion in endless grace. So salvation isn't framed as something you're desperately striving to achieve. Instead, it's presented as a completed action with permanent, secure results.
Through the exact lens of these lyrics, salvation is an absolute assurance. It's an active intervention, literally pulling people from the grave, that fundamentally changes their identity into saints and permanently places them in a state of communion. The text presents these concepts not as metaphors, but as the literal, spiritual reality that the listener is being invited to step into.
And that leads to part four, a call to community, joining the family. So about halfway through, the focus of the text shifts dramatically. It goes from individual salvation straight into collective participation. The lyrics creatively redefine the body. They don't frame it as some rigid institution, it's explicitly defined as a family. It's a supportive, active community where individuals lend an arm or a hand to be a sister or brother. It completely transforms an abstract concept into a tangible, working network of mutual support.
Notice this rapid-fire list of verbs. Join the family, join the body, find your calling. As the poem reaches its final act, the rhythm crescendos into an incredibly energetic call for involvement. It's no longer just about resting in assurance. It actively challenges the listener to move from being a passive recipient to an engaged, active participant.
And all that energy leads to a crucial and honestly quite fun lyrical evolution right near the very end of the text. The vocabulary shifts from "come join the family" and "come join the body" to "come join the party." It's a subtle but powerful change. The concepts peak into this joyful, uplifting celebration. It strips away any remaining formal connotations and replaces them with pure, inviting joy. I mean, a party is welcoming, it's a celebration, and it's something you actively want to be a part of.
Which brings us right back to where we started, turning the source material's central, repetitive assertion back onto you. Through its structured rhythm and its shift from individual assurance to collective joy, the text leaves us with a lingering challenge. Have you found your calling? When you look at the structure of your own life, the community you've built, and the fears you're leaving behind, what were you made for? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep seeking those answers.